Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. Enjoy personalized comfort for better sleep night after night. And now, max out your savings. The more you buy, the more you save on beds, bases, and more. Plus, get free home delivery on any smart bed with base. Limited time. Check it out at a Sleep Number store near you or at sleepnumber.com today.
Avoiding your unfinished home projects because you're not sure where to start? Thumbtack knows home so you don't have to. Don't know the difference between matte paint finish and satin? Or what that clunking sound from your dryer is? With Thumbtack, you don't have to be a home pro. You just have to hire one. You can hire top-rated pros, see price estimates, and read reviews all on the app. Download today.
I'm Richard Taite, and this is the Sober Awkward podcast.
The kettle's boiled, Vic.
Great. Perfect timing. Just a dash of milk for me, please, mate.
Here you go. Shall we get started then?
Have you ever woken up on a Sunday morning and said, I'm never drinking again, and then found yourself waving $50 at a barman by happy hour?
Are you wondering why everyone else can stop at 1 while you head to a dodgy after-party with a weird bloke called Disco Dave? If so, it might be time to take a deeper look at your relationship with your reliable social crutch, alcohol.
On each episode, we'll investigate our own dysfunctional dealings with booze and find out if it's possible to stop this deeply ingrained habit before things get too messy.
Yep, we're going to open up a shame shed of humiliating drinking stories to help you understand why waking up from a booze coma each weekend with a kebab sticking out of your top pocket might actually be negatively impacting your health.
Hamish and I are here to delve into what it's like being sober, an unwanted warts and all look into why giving up those cheeky pints or putting down those mummy wines will make you feel happier, help your anxiety and mental health, and turn you into the most sparkly, authentic version of you.
Won't that mean I become boring though, Vic?
Well, Hamish, we'll just have to wait and see. I'm Victoria Vanstone.
I'm Hamish Adams-Cairns.
And this is Sober Awkward.
April 29th is National Fentanyl Awareness Day, so we've invited Richard Taite, one of the foremost experts on addiction in the US, onto our podcast. Richard has been described as the king of rehab. In 2005, he founded the groundbreaking luxury rehab facility at the Cliffside Malibu before selling it in 2018 and launching the Carrara Treatment and Wellness Spa a few years later. Over the years, Richard has helped roughly 10,000 families overcome addiction, but it's not just the rich and famous he's worked with. Richard is also deeply invested in addressing the homelessness crisis and providing veterans, particularly those with PTSD, the support and treatment they deserve. Richard's passion and work ethic is fueled by his own battles. Having lost 25 years of his life to addiction, he now boasts a sobriety of over 2 decades. Richard's described his purpose as straightforward: to restore families and save lives. So welcome to the Sober Awkward podcast, Richard.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Before we get into the work you do and speak more broadly about fentanyl, I feel like we need to meet the man, Richard. So you first came into contact with drugs when you were just 12, and you lived through what sounded like an incredibly challenging childhood. What were the series of dominoes that fell in your early life that would lead to that 25-year battle with addiction?
Well, when you're 5 years old and you're not getting your needs met, remember, you're small. Right? And everything looks big. And your parents bring you into the world, and these are the people who are supposed to love you more than anything. And when they're beating you and shaming you and threatening you and embarrassing you constantly, you look inward as a 5-year-old. Your frontal cortex is barely even started to develop, right? So you can't form the thought, my parents are defective. Instead, you go, I'm bad. I must be bad. That's all you got at that time. And then as it perpetuates through life, by the time you're 45, you don't even realize that a 5-year-old has been running your 45-year-old person. It makes no sense. But when you look at it that way, it's easy to fix because you're essentially just letting yourself know I've been lying to myself. Because the reality is I've got an 11-year-old and a 15-year-old, and I can tell you without question, there are no bad 5-year-olds.
And what does drugs and alcohol do to a child who's always told themselves, I'm bad?
Well, it quiets the mind, right? So, if you're not enough and you don't fit in, because you're not going to fit in socially, if your parents don't love you, you're not going to be, this social butterfly. If your parents deal with conflict by hitting you, then that's how you're going to deal with conflict on the playground. If your parents are horrible models, that's what you're going to end up with. You're just not going to be liked when you have that type of trauma. And I wasn't. And so when I took that first hit of pot on the side of the house with my buddy Christopher, when I was 12, it happened for me. The mind quieted. I no longer felt like a piece of garbage. I was laughing and I was having a good time. And for someone who is a depressive and not feeling like they're enough ever, that's a good day. That's what drugs does for you.
And I've heard you describe a moment when you were 16 when things took a bit of a shift and things started getting a little bit more dangerous and a little bit more dark. It was a story you told about being driven home by a mechanic.
Oh, God, that was such a nightmare. I was smoking pot from 12 on. Now I'm 16. I've dabbled in cocaine a few times. I've snorted it. It's okay. I mean, I'm not spending my money on it as a kid. But then it happened. My dad tells me to take my car to this certain mechanic. He drives me home up the hill and locks himself in my bathroom for a half hour. So I'm knocking on the door. Guy finally lets me in and shoves a glass pipe in my mouth and lights it. I mean, I'm 16. I don't know any better. And that was it. That hit did it for me. And I wanted to smoke cocaine every minute I could until I got sober.
So was that the choice of drug that sort of dominated the next couple of decades?
Absolutely. Crack cocaine. And, you got to take some opioids and some benzos and a little heroin and some alcohol. You got to keep that on a rotation so you don't get addicted to any one thing. But you need that to balance out the cocaine just to keep your heart in your chest. I mean, it's that vicious. I mean, I didn't do drugs like the kids do today. I was up 6 to 8 days at a time on average, eating a Big Mac once a week just to keep myself alive. I did it till the wheels fell off.
But you did all of that whilst maintaining an insanely successful career. Is that right?
I was practicing law without a law license. So yeah, I was making good money.
Okay, so you're making money, but not necessarily successful.
Not by any measure.
Okay.
I mean, it wouldn't have made my grandparents proud, that's for sure.
One of the differences between taking drugs when you were young or taking drugs when I was young was that fentanyl wasn't really in the picture. And we cover all sorts of addictions on this podcast, obviously alcohol, but we've also spoken about sugar, sex, gambling. For anyone who's not familiar with fentanyl or perhaps thinks, well, I've never done it. I've done coke, I've smoked weed, but I've never done fentanyl. What is it?
Well, today, if you're doing drugs and you're buying them on the street, you are doing fentanyl, whether you know it or not, because 70% of the pills and powders on the street have fentanyl in it. So you're doing that. Fentanyl is a synthetic opioid. It's about 50 to 100 times stronger than morphine, and it's getting worse, right? It's in all the drugs. It's in pink cocaine, which is the ketamine and the MDMA and the fentanyl and a host of other drugs. I mean, you never get the same drug at the same time from two different dealers. You never do. So you never really know what you're taking. It's like when I had my last place, there was a period of 2 years where the kids, they would have something called farm parties, PHARM. And what they do is they go into their mother's cabinet, their grandmother's cabinet, whatever it was. They grab a handful of pills. And they'd go to the party and those bowls that you pass out Halloween candy in. They've got the bowl sitting there on the coffee table in the middle, and the kids walk in, throw a handful of pills in there. And then what they do is they mix all the pills together, and they each take a handful of pills and they pop them and they see what happens. Now, this is how kids were dying in the day. The way they're dying today is they're buying something that they are not bargaining for. So when I was a kid, I'd buy cocaine, I'd get cocaine. Okay. Buy heroin, I get heroin. Buy opioids, I get opioids. And that was it, the end. Today, if you've got a fentanyl user, they're not dying because they're doing fentanyl. They know how to do the fentanyl. And so they have a tolerance for it and the knowledge of how to use it and not die. Not true with the weekend kid in college, the straight A student who's out and just took a bump of cocaine or half a pill and then they're dead. So this is what's going on, and it's killing kids that aren't necessarily drug addicts, don't have substance use disorder, aren't dependent on these things at all. And these are the kids that are dying. So it's beyond horrific.
The stats around it make for some pretty challenging reading. So it is the leading cause of death for Americans aged between 18 and 45, with one death occurring every 7 minutes. And you mentioned that it's 50 to 100 times more potent than morphine. It's 30 to 50 times more potent than heroin.
The kids in high school last year, 14 to 18, 22 kids in high school died, 22 every week. Do you have kids?
Yes, 2.
Okay. So you know what love is. So I love my kids more every day. Can you imagine being 17 years into a kid, good school, good grades, good socially, maybe not the highest self-esteem. So she felt the peer pressure or he felt the peer pressure, and your kid is gone? That's why I do my podcast. Because I didn't want to do a podcast. I do my podcast because I do it around fentanyl, because that is the first line of defense to let parents and children know this is no good, man. This ain't a good time. It's all bad.
You've been working in rehab centers for 20 years. To your knowledge, when did fentanyl appear? When did it suddenly go, oh, hang on, something's changed here?
Right when I left.
So what year was that?
Right when I left. So I sold Cliffside in June of 2018. So right around then, right around when I left, it started becoming a thing. And then by, COVID, it was a full-blown thing.
And we know it's stronger than morphine, it's stronger than heroin. What does that actually mean? Does that mean it's more addictive? What effect is it having on humans?
Well, it's certainly more addictive. And it's stronger. The actual drug is stronger, but it's worse than that. I feel like the sham wow guy, but wait, there's more. And it's always worse. Now they've got something called carfentanil. It's meant to put elephants down. This is what the kids are using. People say it's a horse tranquilizer. Not true.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. Enjoy personalized comfort for better sleep night after night. And now, max out your savings. The more you buy, the more you save on beds, bases, and more. Plus, get free home delivery on any smart bed with base. Limited time. Check it out at a Sleep Number store near you or at sleepnumber.com today.
Avoiding your unfinished home projects because you're not sure where to start? Thumbtack knows home so you don't have to. Don't know the difference between matte paint finish and satin? Or what that clunking sound from your dryer is? With Thumbtack, you don't have to be a home pro. You just have to hire one. You can hire top-rated pros, see price estimates, and read reviews all on the app. Download today.
It's an elephant tranquilizer. Then they're mixing fentanyl and carfentanil with something called xylazine, which is a flesh-eating drug. They use it intravenously, and it starts flesh-eating, and you can literally see the bone inside. So people are walking around with holes in their arms and legs, slumped over like a zombie, and it's coming to a suburb near you.
And you see someone who comes into a centre who goes, I'm a coke addict, I'm a heroin addict, I've never touched fentanyl. You do some tests, you see, okay, well, you have been taking fentanyl. What's the process of helping them get off it? You know, how does recovery from fentanyl differ from recovery from other drugs?
First of all, when somebody comes into treatment, not only do they do an assessment, a complete assessment, but they also do drug testing. We want to see what you've got in your system day one, the minute you walked in the door. Now, the assessment will tell us what drugs are you, just like going to the doctor, what drugs are you using, how much, how often. 40% of the people that say they're not using fentanyl and never have used fentanyl, 40% are testing positive for fentanyl, which means these are the people who are most likely to die because they don't know how to use fentanyl, and they're going to die, not if, when, because it's only a matter of time before you get that pill, okay, that is laced with a lethal dose.
I feel as if the perception of fentanyl is people have heard of it, people know it's bad. Beyond that, we don't know too much, which I guess is why a day like National Fentanyl Awareness Day is so important. Do you feel as if it's not getting the attention it deserves? Do you feel politicians should be shouting and screaming about this? This should be common knowledge, and it just hasn't happened yet?
In the last 93 days that President Trump has been president, there's been more awareness and discussion about fentanyl than in the past 4 years. That's a fact. Whether you like this man or not, he's the fentanyl president. And that's not a Democratic idea or a Republican idea. This thing is killing all Americans. And so I'm grateful to him for that, for sure.
Have you repaired the relationship with your parents throughout your sort of recovery and over the space of time, or was that irreparable?
Listen, nothing's irreparable. It's a matter of needs and wants, right? So I'm the father now, right? I don't need approval from my parents. I do it better than they did. It's not my fault or my problem that I had some of the only parents that didn't want their kids to do better than they did. And, I'm a 58-year-old man. I'm not pining for the approval of my parents anymore. When you're responsible for, over 250 employees in your first year and a half of business, and you're responsible for your children and your ex-wife and, all the people around me that make a team, you don't care about that kind of stuff anymore. It just never affected me in that way.
As you well know, Richard, as soon as a drug like this gets out and people get hooked and it is on the streets, it's very difficult to undo. This is something that's going to get worse before it gets better. I've not really heard anyone speak about recovery the way that you speak about recovery. And I think that might be to the fact that you learnt yourself. You didn't go to a rehab facility. So I heard you say you're the biggest advocate of AA there is in the world, but alone, it wasn't enough, or it wasn't enough for you anyway. I think you were there for 3 years before you got 30 days sober. And, we talk a lot about the drugs. Oh, that drug's bad and this drug's bad and this drug's bad. But actually, a lot of it is to do with how we feel about ourselves. And I was fascinated by the way that you spoke about the role that getting your teeth checked, getting your eyes checked, and having like a spa and wellness center like you do at Carrara play in recovery. So can you just tell us about their role in that?
Yeah, it's real simple. Everybody thought it was a vanity play, right? But, when I sold Cliffside, I spent 5 years like a Malibu housewife, completely atrophying all my skills. And it was a nightmare. But what I realized, a couple of the good things that I realized and got clear on was I've never met someone ever who truly loved themselves trying to kill themselves with drugs and alcohol. It doesn't exist. So how do we attain self-love? Well, self-care turns into self-esteem, which turns into self-love. Well, what the hell is self-care? How about number one, your health? You're worth it. I always, even when I owned the last place, I would pick up a kid and I'd say, come with me. Where are we going, Rich? You just spend the day together. Just don't worry about it. And I'd take him to get his eyes checked. And then I'd take him to my dentist and get his teeth checked and cleaned. Then I'd take him to go get his nails done and his hair done. He's had a self-care day. We have the doctors there, so we're already taking his blood and we're already, giving him a full physical and rundown and in a holistic way, the team that we have. But you want to take them out. And the reason you want to do that is you want to show them this is what self-care looks like. You do it every year, bro. This is what self-care looks like, getting your teeth clean. You get it cleaned twice a year. This is what you got to do. Okay. I've taught kids how to clip their nails and then file them. Simple things, man. We don't need another reason to feel bad about ourselves.
Yeah.
Okay. We're good.
So the Carrara Treatment Centre is up to $180,000 a month to stay there. And then, like you said, you've got one method where you're treating these guys for free. Do you have to treat them differently? Is a Hollywood multimillionaire guy in recovery any different to treating someone who is homeless or living with PTSD? Are there differences in the techniques?
First of all, we live in LA. Everybody's a millionaire. It's never one size fits all because everybody's different, right? So when we have somebody here, it doesn't matter if it's in Carrara or One Method or Affordable Center. We spend more time than any treatment center I know just figuring out who the best fit is, the therapist with the client, then other centers actually spend meeting with the client. Because for the first 3, 4, 5 days that they're detoxing and they're being monitored, everything is being recorded. So then they go into clinical every day and they're checking it out and they're fighting. They're literally fighting for the guy. There is no difference in that regard. Now, at Carrara, you have every room is a private suite with an in-suite bath, right? So it's like a hotel. They roll out of the rack, they go and they get their wheatgrass and their wellness shot, and then they go work out. They can do Pilates, they do yoga, they can swim, they can do anything they want.
I love the story of you employing Stevie Wonder's chef without tasting her food. And someone was like, are you mad? You got to taste the food. You're like, are you telling me that you've got better taste buds than Stevie Wonder? Really made me giggle.
Find me somebody with better taste. Maybe Ray Charles. Yeah. Ray Charles got better taste buds.
For our listeners who are Australia, England, wherever they might be, you can't access one of your treatment centres, but are keen to get clean. What methods do you recommend they combine? We've talked about AA being good for community, self-care, therapy, obviously. Like, what levers do they need to pull to stand the best chance of a long-standing sobriety?
It depends on who they are, what they need, what drugs they were using, how much, and for how long. Outside factors that could be contributing to this as well, job, health, family issues. It's an impossible question to answer if you know what you're doing. If you don't, anybody can answer that question.
How do you look back on your addiction? Are you one of these that goes, that was part of my journey and it gave me my purpose and my direction and, made me who I am today? Or are you more of the, what a waste of life, that I could have done without that?
Both. It's both. I mean, look, I think about if I didn't donkey off 2.5 decades, who would I be today? But that's a double-edged sword, right? I don't have the grit that I have now. It's like, I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, but nobody outworks me. It's just, that's not going to ever happen because I know the room. I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed. I have to outwork everybody. That's all it is.
That's the question I wanted to finish on, Richard. Thank you a lot for your time today. It was to do with motivation. So you don't have to work anymore. You sold your first recovery centre for estimated 9 figures. You're not allowed to say how much, but it's somewhere in that.
I don't care. I don't care what they think anymore. Don't worry about it.
You could retire, is my point. You don't have to work, but you still do. Correct. You still have clearly a burning desire to keep going, to make it bigger and to help more people and to, wake up every morning with this motivation and energy to do it. What drives that?
Well, I can't help it because I'm an empath. And so I feel everybody's pain. So I'm constantly tortured all day, every day. That's how I live my life. I was driving the other day and I locked eyes with this woman, and my buddy Dylan, who does the podcast with me, I say, get out of the car. Here's a couple $100. Go give that woman some money. And she's walking across the street now because we locked eyes and she knows. So he gets out of the car to give her some money and she ain't leaving. And I know why, because she wants to say thank you. And so I get out of the car and I have my arms out like this and I say, hey, can I give you a hug? And she said, yeah. I gave her a hug and I talked to her for a minute. We connected because that's more important because they're invisible. And I got in the car and the kid says to me, I bet that made you feel good. And I said, it does not. And he said, why? And I said, because I left her there. Until there's nobody to leave, this is what I do. And the reason is because we leave this place better than we found it. That's it. The end. You're a dad, right? Mm-hmm. That's it, man. That's all there is. We're only on loan. Got to be better to each other.
I can't think of a more apt message to finish on, Richard. Thank you so much for doing what you do. You know, you're helping people, not just in America, who go to your centres, but through your podcast, people all over the world who hear this message. Where can we find you? Your podcast is called We're Out of Time. New book out in August. What's that one called so we can find it?
You know what? I got to tell you, I haven't locked down the name yet. I'm down to 3 or 4 names, and I'm not going to know until the final second.
Okay. Well, let us know as soon as you know. We'll let our listeners know.
But We're Out of Time with Richard Taite is, I've been doing this 7 months. We've got like 33,000 subscribers. We should be ranked in the top 100 any day now in the mental health space in the world. So I think that's hysterical, but we're going to see how we'll see how it rolls.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Richard.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
If you're questioning your relationship with booze, you're struggling to moderate, or your hangovers are causing anxiety, it might be time to reach out for some support.
Yeah, just talk to a mate about how you're feeling, contact a local doctor, find an AA or sobriety group. Vic's got one.
Yeah, just head to www.cuppa.community.
Remember, if you're questioning yourself, it might be time to seek support.
Even though this journey can be awkward, it is definitely worth it. And if you've enjoyed the Sober Awkward podcast, don't forget to review it, rate it, and share it with your mates.
Do they have to share it with their mates?
Yeah, of course they do. I'm not doing this for nothing, Hamish. Bloody hell.
How do they share it?
I don't know, just write it on the...
This is Hannah Burner from Giggly Squad. O-Pill is the first over-the-counter daily birth control pill available in the U.S. Let's be real, getting a birth control prescription is not always easy, and it's so much admin. In fact, about a third of women face barriers to access prescription birth control. Between scheduling appointments, missing work, class, or just trying to exist, it's a lot. But now O-Pill is putting birth control in our control. O-Pill is a daily birth control that's FDA approved, full prescription strength, and estrogen free, and 98% effective when used as directed. Grab it online or at most major retailers, no prescription or doctor's appointment needed. So if you're thinking about birth control, check out O-Pill to see if it's right for you. Use code GIGGLY for 25% off your first month of O-Pill at OPILL.com. That's code GIGGLY at OPILL.com. Birth control in your control. We love to see it.
You can't always predict what's next, but you can be ready for it in a BMW SUV. The performance-driven X1 comes built for every journey, while the X3's sporty design and innovative technology keep your drive connected. The X5 blends performance with a commanding presence, or make it even bigger with 3 rows of luxurious seating in the X7. For every road, there's an X built to drive it. BMW, the ultimate driving machine. Visit bmwusa.com/military to learn about BMW's military incentives.
Hey neighbor, celebrate the holidays with Birch Lane. Our timeless furniture and decor are delivered for free in days, not weeks. It's classic style for joyful living. Shop Birch Lane, a Wayfair specialty brand at birchlane.com.
So, as you probably know, my comedy memoir, 1,000 Wasted Sundays, is officially out. All my magnificent fuck-uppery in one awkward hit. If you'd like to get your hands on a copy, it's now available from all good bookstores.
We always say all good bookstores, don't we?
Yeah.
Are there bad bookstores?
No, it's probably ones with moody sellers.
Oh yeah, really depressed librarian folk.
Yes,
okay,
yeah,
good.
yeah. So there are probably some, but we're only storing it in the good ones.
It's only made it into the goodies.
You can also get it from all good online retailers. The print version and ebook are out now, and the audiobook will be available in March. I've been writing my memoir for 5 years. It will make you laugh, cry and cringe, and hopefully inspire a few people to reconsider their relationship with booze. If you love the podcast, then I think you'll love the book, even if I do say so myself. Hamish has read it. What did you think?
I feel like I know a little bit too much about you now, to be honest, Vic. Look, I really loved it. It was hilarious and surprisingly moving, but I feel like I've seen you naked in a literary sense.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's worrying.
Yeah. From an emotional point of view, seriously, it wobbled my teeny weeny wooden heart, Vic.
Okay.
My teeny little wooden heart.
Well, his teeny little, his wooden heart is broken. Anyway, so if you do manage to get your filthy mitts on a copy, please do me a favour and head to goodreads.com and give me a review. Doing that will help me get it out there to those that need a bit of sober support. So there you have it. My story, unwanted warts and all. Come and get awkward with me.
Not to be too demanding or anything, but seriously, go and buy it now.
Go and buy it right now.
Yeah, don't just tell your friends, buy it, and then buy your friends one or two.
Yeah, don't give them a copy, buy it. Yeah.
And you know what? Don't be careful where you store it. If you lose it, you can always buy another 5.
Buy another one.
Yeah.